Awesome. Every day, all day. This is how. This is 97.9, the BOX.
97.9 The Box. Good morning, H-Town. Keisha and J-Mac live right now with a special guest. Now, I know everybody's been watching this show, Snowfall, one of the hottest shows, or if not the hottest show on TV. We have Isaiah John, a.k.a. Leon. What's up?
How are you? I'm doing fantastic.
Now, Leon, it's been a long time since you were a janitor.
Yes. Well, it don't feel that long, but yes.
And I know that was like one of your first jobs, man. Tell me a little bit about that experience and how have you evolved?
Man, well, prior to me being a janitor, I worked at a restaurant. And honestly, like even growing up when I was a teenager, I had janitorial jobs. The neighborhood pool. I was like the janitor for the neighborhood pool, like the bathrooms, even when I was like 13. But when I graduated high school, I got a job at a restaurant, had issues with the and then after that job was flexible enough, so I hit up the local gym, and the only position they had available was this janitor job. And I said, you know what, let's do it. So I took that job, and honestly, that was one of my best jobs. I love that job because it taught a lot of it taught a lot to me about just growing, being a man, patient, like just enjoying the small things. I honestly took a lot of pride in that job. Like I had fun.
And it's totally different from the character that you play on Snowfall.
Absolutely. Absolutely, very different. Leon, I don't think he would ever be a janitor if he had to. He wouldn't do it.
And speaking of that, how did you? Now you weren't even born 30 years ago, were you?
No.
So how do you get all the slang? And was it hard to learn the slang when you know?
Well, you know, prior to me booking Snowfall, I think I've only been to California once prior to me booking Snowfall. So I had no idea about LA culture or anything like that.
And that was barbershop, right? You were in barbershop for like yeah.
Yeah, but that was Chicago. So like if it wasn't for Dub C, Leon would be completely different. Like having conversations with John and Dub C.
So wait, I've heard another story about someone saying the same thing, that Dub C was their like lingo interpreter for a movie. I can't remember who I saw that about. Is that what he's doing in Hollywood? See, because I'm from the West Coast and I'm familiar with Dub C. I love Dub C.
I know he helped them out with Straight Outta Compton.
Okay.
And that's what John knew. He helped him out with Straight Outta Compton. So John hit him up for Snowfall. Was like, I need you to get my actors right for Snowfall. So that's how. And I know specific, like Dub, you know, he will always be on set. Even to this day, he's still on set. Like still giving me pointers to this day. And we're in season 4. So he's still like, hey, stand like this, say this like this, like just to keep that authentic, you know, LA vibe. And I love that because, you know, that really showed that he cares about how his city's being represented.
Yeah.
Now, some of the stuff that you saw on the set when you first got there, did it blow your mind? Like the rape scenes, the violence, did that blow your mind? Like, were you saying to yourself, did this really happen?
Oh, absolutely. I booked Snowfall when I was 20 years old. So I, you know, going from just being in a small town, you know, being a janitor to being on TV, working on a John Singleton show. My first day on set was when we filmed that scene on a bus when I went off on that old white dude for telling me to turn down my radio. That was my first time on set.
Okay. So if that's never happened to you, where do you go to get that and do that part so well?
Being scared of failing, being afraid of not doing good in front of John Singleton. Like, I'm like, you know, that energy, I was like, you know, I gotta bring all of this, whatever Leon is feeling in this moment, I gotta be as true as possible because me knowing certain stories in Hollywood, I'm like, okay, if I don't do as good as they feel like I should, they can easily replace me. This is the pilot, you know, like we ain't in the season yet. So
and that's the scene when he told you to turn your music down, right?
Yeah. Yep. And that scene, was added into the pilot, from my knowledge, after Damson and I had our chemistry read. We improvised that scene, they liked it, and wrote it into the pilot.
And I know you mentioned John Singleton a lot, obviously, but was he someone that really took you under his wing, being that it was his show? Like, did he really take you under his wing during that time?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Had numerous conversations with John, met up with him all the time. Like, he was definitely hands-on on the development of Leon and just helping me throughout, you know, maneuvering through the industry, especially at a young age, because he was young when he came into this industry as well.
Right. And I know, I mean, that has to feel good because a legend.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So you didn't feel no pressure with John, you know, doing these parts. When I know he didn't direct every scene, but you didn't feel no pressure at all.
You know, I don't think it was a pressure. I think it was just I wanted to be as authentic and be as true to telling the story as possible. I don't think it was like any kind of like nerve besides the first day of being on set. After I got through that day, I was like, okay, this is cool. I can get into the groove of this. Because like I always say in every interview, Snowfall instantly became a family. Like all the actors on set, the crew, the producers, we all became a huge family. So it kind of broke the ice really quick for me. And I don't think I from my memory bank, I don't think I was.
Now, do you? Oh, I was gonna ask. So, do you ever find yourself talking in like Leon lingo instead of like Isaiah lingo? Sometimes, like you're out and you just jump into Leon, like Leon jump into your body.
Sometimes it depends. If somebody make me a little upset, you know, they might get a little Leon. But not normally, no.
Yeah.
And what was the best advice someone has gave you on the set that you remember till this day?
Best advice, that's hard because, like, honestly, Damson, Eamon, Melvin, and D-Ray, and myself, we all have this group chat, right? We're all constantly talking every day, all day.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. I hope this boy have his shirt on in the group chat.
Of course. We're all in the group chat together, and we're constantly dropping gems in this group chat to each other because we all have had our own individual experiences, whether it be about life or this industry or specific projects, auditions, whatever it be. So honestly, that's a hard question. I will say that something that John told all of us that really stood out to me was to make sure that I don't forget about my people as far as like Black people, because once you have a fan base with our people, you always have a job, you know, always for your people and never forget where you come from. So that, of course, definitely stands out to me as far as great advice, but they drop gems all day. So I'm constantly like soaking up game and you know, just maneuvering through this thing.
I'm glad you said that. Now, a lot of these British actors are doing great. Do you feel any pressure or are you scared that, hey, they might get all these jobs because these boys are bad and women?
You know, like that's a constant conversation. I'm honestly happy to see it. My perspective on like British actors and American actors, like I feel like that's just more division that we're putting upon each other as Black people. At the end of the day, like these are real African, you know, native people that just so happen to be born or live in the UK. And it's like, I know that the experiences over there might be slightly different than the experiences here, of course, but as far as just acting, I feel like the better actor should win. If the best actor for a specific role just so happened to be a British actor, so be it. I feel like then he deserves it. Like look at Daniel Kaluuya, like amazing actor, killing roles. I don't care that he's British. He's killing, you know, he's killing these roles.
Yeah.
Right. Nominations. Like he's a Black man at the end of the day. Like if he's walking down the street in America, he's gonna experience whatever he experiences that just as a Black man. They're not gonna say, "Oh, you're British, so you get a pass."
Right."
No, like so to me, I feel like that's just more separation that we're adding in a conversation that doesn't need it. And, you know, I constantly hear Damson's perspective. And, you know, that's why I can't have that American versus Brit actor mentality, because I work with a British native actor that just is dope. Like, you can't deny his talent. He's just dope. So, you know, that's my perspective on it.
This show is becoming such a success. How is it having everyone embrace the show? You know, I know you, and the thing about this generation, you can actually go on social media and see the quick response after they, you know, watch an episode. What has it been like watching everybody embrace it?
You know, it's interesting because, like, this is season 4, and seasons 1 through 3, yes, we've had like fans of the show, like, you know, it slowly grew, but we never experienced the amount of love that we're experiencing now. So yeah, each season we'll film a whole season like, this is the season, this is the season. So after this season, I'm like, this gotta be it. If this don't hit, then this show is just whatever. Like, I guess literally that's all, like, what we're all saying on set, like Damson, Amy, like, we're all saying the same thing, like, this gotta hit because we're putting so much into it, just how we do it every season. But this season is definitely the best season we've had, with so much action and the stories just intertwined. It's really amazing. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and I think, you know, with the pandemic hitting, we were watching TV and it was like, oh, we got something good. Or you see it on social media, like, let me go ahead and watch Snowfall. Like, I've been hearing about it, and so many people are just sitting at home. So, because naturally we all just watch everything on demand all the time anyway, you know what I mean? But when that pandemic hit, it was like, man, let me actually watch all these seasons that I missed.
Right. No, and I honestly, I feel like that definitely worked in our benefit. That this pandemic, we gained a lot of fans over the pandemic because everyone was just on Hulu watching Snowfall. And that made the hunger and thirst for season 4 so much greater, because, like, we were supposed to drop season 4 early 2020. So
what?
A whole year to get this. So we're like a year behind, but, you know, it worked out for the benefit, like the better, because everybody was just craving Snowfall all too.
Right.
And speaking of season 4, the gangs. What is going to happen with the gangs and what's going on season 4, man?
Man, it's all I can say is just gonna get crazier and crazier each episode. I feel like what I like about Snowfall is the fact that it's not, like, of course it's entertainment, but at the end of the day, like, what I like to use, especially specific scenes that I'm in, I like to use them for, like, learning tools or
a teaching moment.
Yes, because, like, even the scene that I had last week, you know, blindly shooting into a car, of course it was, you know, there was motive behind it, but that happens all the time. And it's like the trauma that causes for the person, the shooter, and the people involved is insane. So we're about to go through a whole journey with Leon as far as the repercussions of his actions, and I'm honestly excited for everyone to see how to watch someone go from being the hardest thing walking to dealing with the traumatic aspect of what goes on, and not just like, okay, yeah, I killed somebody, like, so what? Because that's not real. Like, people that live this lifestyle, they may come off that way in the public, but when they go home, they have to deal with themselves. So we're going to dive in and see what people have to go through when they're by themselves, dealing with themselves and their emotions. So, like, yeah, that's why I love Snowfall, man.
How do you jump out of character, though? Like, I know, you know, having to play a heavy role, like, and then you go home and then have to turn back into yourself. Like, I know sometimes it may feel heavy on your spirit, right? It has to.
Like, when the first few seasons, yes. Now it's kind of like on and off. Like, I can be like whatever in my own zone, pull up the set. As soon as they pick my hair out, put on my costume, I'm in Leon. As soon as we wrap, we're all back to normal. Like, all of us. I don't think any of us really carry our characters home, because, like, it's like second nature. We've been playing these characters for going on 5 years now. So we can literally turn it on and off and, you know, give it our all in the moment and then turn it off to have regular conversation and go home and still enjoy our lives.
You mentioned picking your hair. How long does it take for a wardrobe to get your hair right?
Honestly, like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Now, Now, speaking of, you're doing a show that was based 30 years ago. So have you researched the music of that time? Have you been listening to some of the music that was hot during that time?
Oh, absolutely. And to me, I can't ignore it because Snowfall just does such an amazing job with the music selection for scenes. So like, we have to, like, we honestly have to as actors.
Okay, tell me what you jamming. What you jamming?
Wait, what's on your playlist?
Like when I'm in lead mode?
Yeah.
Man, what am I jamming?
Do we give him a music quiz, J-Mac?
What does a killer jam? What does a killer jam?
I will fail.
Come on, man. Give us something.
I don't have anything, honestly.
Tell us what you jamming.
Like, I'm one actor. I don't really associate music to get into character.
Right.
Like, I've never done it. I'm one to associate the character with emotion and dive into the emotion aspect or like what they've been through in their life, but I've never associated music with a character. So honestly, I couldn't. I'm a fail.
So you ain't listen to no Ice Cube, no WC while you were on set?
Yeah, I mean, of course that, but like I feel like that's just a generic answer. I'm thinking you thinking like,
yeah,
something like old school, like
right.
Like
no,
80s,
I'm just thinking,
like 80s.
No, I'm just thinking hip hop. Or what are you listening to right now? What are you listening to right now that's in your car?
Right now?
Yeah, like your favorite artist.
I don't look. All right, I'm gonna be 100% vulnerable. I listen to so many different genres. Like,
what do you listen to?
Rock. I listen to rap. I listen to R&B. I listen to.
Okay, who you listening to in R&B? Just put us on something. Or rock. Just let us know.
Rock. I listen to old school rock, but R&B. I mean, I don't know if y'all consider Black an R&B artist. I do.
I'm Black.
So he's like one of my favorite R&B artists for sure. Rap, Pooh Shiesty, he's
oh
Black.
yeah,
you like Pooh Shiesty? Okay.
Yeah,
we
cool.
getting there.
As far as like rock, like 30 Seconds to Mars, Green Day.
Wow, 30 Seconds to Mars.
All right.
Just a mix.
Throwback rock.
I see. Any books that you're reading?
Books, man, the Bible.
Okay, yes.
Any particular part of the Bible?
You don't gotta laugh because the Bible, listen, for many centuries, that's still to go to for everything. Any situation you're in, you can pick up the Bible and find that situation or something like that inside the Bible.
And we got to ask the questions. You got a girlfriend?
You got a girlfriend?
I'm married.
You?
Oh.
How old are you?
25.
Wow. I know no 25-year-old that is married right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Why did you want to get married so early? Because of your parents?
No, not because of my parents. I got married younger than my parents did. For me, like, especially maneuvering through this industry and being observative, like, I feel like it sets the foundation for stability, especially through this industry. So, I didn't want to go through what a lot of people go through. I wanted to, like, fully have control over my life and not fall into certain temptations or whatever. So, I'm not knocking nobody else's. That's just for myself. That's
well, man, I had a great time talking to you today. Keisha, you got any more questions?
I think I'm done. I think everything we talked about. That's not everything.
Okay, now tell me this last thing. For the people who have never saw this show, why should they watch the show if you never watched it at all?
Because I feel like almost everybody has some kind of connection to this crack epidemic one way or another. So I feel like it's I always stress that, if the younger generation are going to watch it, go in it with not just from an entertainment standpoint, but an educational standpoint to learn about in the past. I didn't know about a lot of things that happened during this time era until I booked the show and I did my research and I had conversations with certain people in Los Angeles that, may still be recovering or have recovered. So I feel like they should watch the show because honestly, it's the best show in the world. Just to put that out there. It's shot beautifully. The writing is amazing. Acting is amazing. Each episode leaves you on an edge. So I feel like they should definitely watch it.
And now that you researched everything, I know I said that was the last question, but now that you researched everything, do you trust the government? Now that you know what the government did and how they put crack into the community, do you trust
it all?
I didn't trust the government before Snowfall, so absolutely not.
All right, man. Thanks.
We appreciate you, Isaiah.
Of course. Thank you so much.
And congratulations on the success of the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.